Firewalls. As the name suggests, a firewall protects a type of data or information from the outside world. A firewall can be a software program or a hardware device. A firewall is a simple router implemented with a special program. These programs can be in set of software systems or hardware devices. This unit is placed between the host or the clients of certain network. This is a bus which will be connected to all the clients servers and to the firewall. So this firewall filters the packets which are coming from the internet or uh, any public or third party domains, and it routes to the network. So while routing the data packets which pass from the internet to the organization or institution level, a small local area, this data will should pass from the firewall. So this firewall filters the packets, means it checks for some errors or any other kind of malicious data, and it filters those packets and sends the data to the client or the host. The security issues faced by smaller networks like the one used at home or similar to larger networks. A firewall is used to protect the network from unwanted websites and potential hackers. This firewall is placed between the network router and the internet, or between a user and a router. The objective of such configuration is to monitor and filter packets coming from the unknown sources. So unknown sources can be from the internet side, which is third party uh, domains which are not usually safe to access these websites due to its malicious programs which are installed in it. So consequently, hackers do not have access to penetrate through a system if a firewall protects the system. For a large company with many networks, a firewall is placed on every connection attached to the network. So here we can see only three systems and one server. So imagining we have a large company having 500, 600 computers and 100 servers. To maintain all those, a single firewall is not that safe. So for every set of systems, a firewall will be maintaining with the network access. So companies can set rules about their network on particular systems need to work in order to maintain security. So these companies can also set rules on how a system can connect to the websites. So the employee may not necessarily uh, open a third party domain, so that all the data which is there in the company server could be lost by the hacker. So companies can restrict the number of websites, or they can block the access of the website. These precautionary rules are followed in order to maintain the advantage of having a firewall. A firewall can control how a network works with internet connection. A firewall can also be used to control data traffic. So if we are getting some 50 data packets from the internet, and the traffic is heavily concentrated on, let's take A, B, C, in A and B heavily concentrated. So we can easily distribute the data which are coming from the internet. and the queuing time also can be increased in the firewall. So while filtering the packets, we also have these advantages. So software firewall programs can be installed in home computers by using internet connection. These are also called as gateways, which allow the data passing from the internet to the local organization servers or client browsers. So softwares can access web services only through this software firewall. But coming to hardware firewalls are more secure than software firewalls. This is because the hardware devices which will be working on the bit level information size, which hacker cannot easily access these data, whereas a software level, the hacker can easily access the programs which when the hacker sends a malicious programs to the software, so these software devices can be easily installed in this. But in hardware devices, it can be hacked only if the hacker plays with the device. You cannot directly access from the internet to the hardware device. So the biggest security advantage of installing a firewall in a business network is to protect from any outsider or a hacker logging in to the network. So sometimes a firewall is put where a large amount of data flows is normally expected. So some data where it is very confidential or it will be passing as always, so it should be a secured line. So at that place a firewall will be placed so that the traffic which is being constant run should not be breached. So apart from the forwarding packets between networks, a firewall filters those packets and pass through. These packets will be filtered from the firewall and it will be passed through. If packets can get through the filter, they reach their destination. Otherwise, they will be thrown from this firewall, which will be lost. Packets will be lost. A firewall can be programmed to throw away certain packets addressed to particular IP host or TCP port numbers. So each IP domain will be having some port numbers or some IP addresses. So if the firewall is designed in such a way that each IP address or host which organization needs to be particularly unaccessed for the employees, they can block these IP addresses so that the firewall can discard all those packets coming from that IP address or the host, and all the clients will be taking that. This condition is especially useful if a particular host does not want to respond to or any access from the external sources. So it will be much more safer if it is restricted from all other remaining parts of the internet. The second method, that is firewall filters packets based on source IP address. This source IP address is helpful when the host has to be protected from any unwanted external packets. So any unwanted packets or external packets which is coming from the third party domain or the internet can be filtered from this second method. The third method is DOS, which is denial of service. This method controls the number of packets entering a network.